Today's event is much larger than I think I anticipated.
Really showcased the spirit of entrepreneurialism.
It's really awe-inspiring to see the people in this room.
It was a wonderful event to help celebrate the local successes.
I'm very honored. My staff and I are very honored to have won this award.
SBDC has been one of the real breaths of fresh air that we've had in Northwest Indiana.
It was just great to see all the leaders.
We're going to be revolutionary.
I hope I can live up to it.
We feel really privileged to be here.
I couldn't be more proud to be part of this.
I'm honored and I'm challenged. There's a lot yet to be done.
I'm not a runner, I'm an innovator, I'm an entrepreneur.
My success, Limercial success, has really been because we were able to be very nimble and change a lot and try a lot of different things at one time. And not all of them were successful. But when there was a failure, we never fell down and put our head under the sheets. We got back up and went out there and made the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. I really got into the infomercial space by pure mistake. My wife and I were down to our last $150, and I had this crazy idea that maybe people would watch video over the internet. So at the time, I created a very lightweight technology that worked on modem users and worked on broadband. And you got to remember, this is back before people ever had high-speed connections. Now I can't even imagine somebody having a modem connection. But we created this brilliant technology, and I was able to use it instead of email. I was able to use it instead of banners, and was really able to advertise a product like never before. And I kind of had that entrepreneurial spirit that I want to go out there and see instant results in whatever I did, and the internet allowed me to do that. And with the video technology, I somehow ended up in the infomercial space. I knew somebody in that space. He said, "Hey, could you take my commercial and stream it across the internet?" And we did that. And we're very successful at driving a lot of eyeballs and a lot of traffic to see the commercial.
In a nutshell, our business is guest appreciation. Everything is about the guest from the second they walk in the door to the second they leave the salon. The reason is because they're the ones actually paying the money to come here, and they're looking for help. There are so many guests that actually go from salon to salon because of the fact that they're not getting what they feel the value is of what they pay. The reason I got into the hair industry to begin with is because when I actually went and got my hair done, people didn't really help me as much as I would have liked to, or I didn't choose the right place to help me enough with my hair. They didn't help me, teach me how to do my hair, and I really feel that that's the biggest part of this industry that we want to fill. Our character is to really help the employees, which helps the guests. And I think building that team and that synergy is extremely important for any business.
Yeah, a lot of times, even with hairdressers, they're behind the chair so much that they can't manage the rest of the staff, or they can't manage the salon, and that's actually where I come in.
The reason we both chose each other because we knew that it would work out in synergy. We also have the same goals in life, so I feel that it really helps with the business part of it. He does the business end of it. I do more of the training. It's all about the guests. It's always about the guests, no matter what your day is like.
Business journalism is the ability to tell a story, and that's what we do. And the best advice that I learned from McGraw-Hill was always to have a clear voice and a slant that is appealing to the reader. Building Indiana News was created to fill a void in our marketplace. There was not a publication that focused on economic development and construction in northern Indiana. So there's one in Chicago and one in Indianapolis, but not for us. So we filled the void to help out business owners in our area. Northwest Indiana is incredible. We are uniquely positioned for an explosion of economic development. We are logistically situated for rail and highway and water and air. And so developers should be looking at us and building in our area.
What I look for in a story basically is something compelling. If I would read the story, I think any of the readers in Northwest Indiana would read the story. People are all drawn to the same types of subjects. You know, maybe it's a hardship story, or maybe it's just a inspirational story, or just even the run-of-the-mill. Hey, this guy didn't know anything about computers, but he tinkered around and started his own computer business. You know, anything really. I think anything compelling is what I look for in a story, because that's what you would find compelling. Sometimes the stories aren't as positive as we'd like them to be, but they're still stories. And what motivates me is just to get out all of the stories that are happening in Northwest Indiana so people know about what's going on in the business community. I run the Cheap Guy blog here at the Times. Myself and Bo Diatway, my co-writer, so to speak, we just started up something to say, help people save money. I think small business here in Northwest Indiana just has a great opportunity right now, especially with the economy being the way it is. I think there's nowhere to go but up. I think Northwest Indiana is well positioned in many respects just to take advantage of that, and the small businesses especially. There's a lot of opportunities out there, I think, that could help people rise to the top, and I think people are willing to support small businesses here in Northwest Indiana.
There's a lot of businesses that are going through major change right now. Some are downsizing, some are combining locations, and what we try to do, we try to come in and help them reconfigure to make their spaces as functional as possible, because time is money and effort is money. And so what we want to do is make sure that the space is conducive to the use, and they get the maximum efficiency out of their space. We are at a constant need to think outside the box, to find things that are new, to come up with new ideas, because the reason that people are remodeling or they're looking at design is competition. I mean, a big part of that is they're competing with other people in their field, and we need to bring those new ideas to the table for them. We also need to make companies more efficient, more functional. And I think in Northwest Indiana, relationships are huge. And you'll never make it in Northwest Indiana if you're a one-shop business.
Some of the most successful businesses in Northwest Indiana started in their basements, started in their homes, and they've grown and have employed thousands of people. When you multiply the total number of small businesses, it is truly the reason why America is the envy of the world. My father was a small businessman, and I was with him when I was 13 years of age, the day that he went down to the local bank and got his bank loan to start his business. And his business was started with him and my mother in the basement of the house. And 18 years later, when my father died, he had multi-million dollars of construction projects going. So seeing that occur firsthand with the person that I most admired in my life, my father, really motivated me to want to encourage other people. Small business makes up over 90% of the membership of the Valparaiso Chamber of Commerce. So small business is the lifeblood of this community and the lifeblood of Northwest Indiana.